When I first met Eric, he started off as a CSR at another brokerage that I worked with. He was very thorough. He worked mainly almost like, I would say he's a CSR, so he knows what to look for when it comes to underwriting. He knows what to look for when it comes to asking certain underwriting questions and getting things prepared and calling the clients, getting it set up and selling the policy itself. It wasn't until he came to broker team was when we reconnected. He was a fairly new broker, familiar with the work that he was doing, but it was at that time that he was already starting to build a book. And he brought in a lot of business, and good quality underwriting. Prepared everything the way that he was taught to do. Everything was always there that he needed. If something was missing, he was very quick to reply and tell you what was on or what was needed or what the information was that needed to be there to complete the submission.
If you gotta trust somebody, Eric will be the guy. So he's a natural born leader and he is willing to help, is willing to sacrifice for himself to help others. So we all believe in him. That's the reason why we all try to jump in to join the team with him.
Eric is very, very good broker that he is very attentive and he's very professional. Now, by attentive, I mean that he knows most of his clients personally. At this point in time, Eric has his own assistant to help him out with day-to-day tasks. But I know Eric still spends a lot of time talking to his clients on an individual basis to get to know them and also to understand their insurance needs. So that, definitely I applaud him for doing that, because a lot of times when producers get to a certain size, book size, they maybe pass on and delegate a lot of tasks, but I know Eric's very hands-on, so that's one excellent quality about Eric. Eric is a visionary, right? In the sense that even though he's so successful he was on a path. He joined Booker team almost 10 years ago from the beginning. What is impressive to me is that he didn't settle, that he was on a path to be a producer, to be a good broker, and he became very successful. He grew his portfolio to a very, very good size, but he didn't settle. He was thinking about what the next thing is going to be. So he actually initiated a lot of things that transpired to lead to where he is now, which is the leader at ETC Insurance, and that happened because of the fact that he's a self-motivated individual and he has a vision of where he wants to be in the long term, not only to be a successful broker but also to be a brokerage owner also.
To me, Eric is young and very energetic. But not only that, he's not only for production-wise, he's really care about his client. I remember a couple incidents that Eric spent a lot of time for his client when there's a claim occurred. He took the client to go through the claim process. Of course, the client is upset about the situation, but he tried his best to coordinate everything to ensure the client will get the best result at a difficult moment. This is one thing that Eric impressed me. He can start from scratch with no support from anyone to build the client base one by one. Eventually, opportunity comes, he can pursue and fulfill the dream, become a Booker principal, which is every broker, every young broker should be aiming for.
I know that he's very involved in soccer as well, because that's one of his passions. So that's perfect. Might as well spend some time in that. And I know he's very involved in soccer. So he attends and he goes to different tournaments. He will also coach young people or any youngsters in soccer and soccer sports as well. So he certainly has a big part in the community in terms of soccer, our own community, Chinese community as well. He is a problem solver, and he's very clear-minded as well. So a lot of times whenever there are problems or issues, he can always take a good step back. And then, like I said, I also mentioned this before, he can oversee the big picture as well. So he can always take a step back and do a pros and cons on different aspects and come up with a good solution. That's a win-win situation.
Initially, I'm just a client. For Eric is a client buying home and auto insurance from him. I asked Eric whether he's got any part-time job for me. After working for him for about a couple of months, so Eric asked me, so why don't you go for an insurance broker? So at that time, I was very reluctant because after all these years, I haven't picked up a book to study and memorize, right? So I told him that, oh my God, it can be, quite a hard job for me. But he really encouraged me. He said that you can do it, go for it.
有朋友打電話俾我，係夜晚打俾我，好緊張。飛哥唔掂啊！我要揾個朋友做演說，啱啊！咁我 Eric， 咁佢話就因為佢翻咗去國內，翻嚟原來個演說過咗期喎，咁佢又唔記得俾，咁個演說公司咧就話俾你聽 ，Belly 咗，我唔受你啦，我唔再補你啦，咁架車咪冇演說咯，而且佢係做一個小判頭嚟嘅，咁佢應承咗人要做 basement， 佢要趕工啦，佢好頭痛啊，咁我就發咗俾 Eric 就同佢搞好，lucky 啦，佢話俾我聽，2日就攞咗個臨時嘅驗疏紙可以開工啦。佢好，你緊張得嚟咧，佢用好溫和嘅態度對你咧，佢等你唔好咁緊張。